Welcome back to Good Day. Amanda, we're going to combine like two things that I absolutely love here. Science, I'm a geek there, and then history. So it's like, I love this.
Self-proclaimed over here. So Ryan, here's your chance to get up close to a 12,000-year-old mastodon. Dr. Margaret Mary Yacobucci of BGSU is here with John Swearingen Jr. of the Museum of Fulton County. Good morning, folks.
Good morning. This is exciting.
Look what she brought us.
What do we got?
So
it looks old.
This is not the specimen that's going to be put out at the Museum of Fulton County. This is a single mastodon molar fossil. So it would sit in the jaw like this, and it would have rounded cusps for eating twigs and bark and leaves and things.
Okay.
It's about 12 to 15,000 years old, and it's part of our paleontology collection at BGSU.
You're going to let me hold it?
I will let you hold it.
Whoa,
you can
heavy.
say you're holding a
drop
mastodon.
Wow.
This is neat.
It's much, you're going to love that.
So I'm cool. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, mastodons, we learned a lot about saber-toothed tigers and mastodons and dinosaurs. We were all in school and things. What does the local area have a connection to mastodons?
Yes. So here in Ohio, we are strongly influenced by the Ice Age. So the Pleistocene Ice Age goes from about 2 million years ago up till only 11,000 years ago. And ice sheets expanded across parts of Ohio and then melted back again. And they did that over and over again. And so the entire landscape of Ohio, especially here in Northwest Ohio, is a product of the glacial movements and the water that pooled next to the ice sheet as it retreated back. So here in Northwest Ohio, we have the Great Black Swamp. That is ancient lake bed. And these fossils are found in the sand ridges in those lake beds.
Look at that.
Super cool.
That is so cool.
We all know and love the history around here, but it goes back even further than I think a lot of us think about before humans were even around here.
Yeah. So John, you at the museum, talk a little bit about what people can expect when they come out to this special event a week from today.
Well, this is one of many strange things that walks in the door of my museum. This person brought this in a cardboard box.
What?
And then found it in an attic. And so this bone is from Delta, Winameg area, and I was not expecting this to just walk in the museum one day.
Somebody brought in a bone from a mastodon that they had in an attic in a cardboard box.
Yep.
Did they have a background story to this? It's just in their attic, or like did they dig it up in a sandbox one day, or what?
I think their dad had found it somewhere.
Oh my goodness!
Brought it home, and no one knew he had it.
Wow.
And so they're cleaning out their attic, and there it was.
And so you're
brought it to the museum, and then I asked her to come.
It's not exactly.
Like, explain all of this.
Yeah, it's not exactly Indiana Jones, but it's pretty cool.
So at the program on Friday, you're going to be kind of going into some of this history too.
Yes, exactly. So it turns out that a landowner was excavating in 1978 and found these bones, and they reached out to my late colleague, Dr. John Howe, and Dr. Mark Kemp at the University of Toledo, and they came out and excavated. And a lot of that material was studied and then sent up to the University of Michigan's Museum of Paleontology. But some of the local folks helped themselves to some of the bones. And so that's how they ended up in an attic. It's pretty cool.
Holy moly.
That's crazy. You wouldn't expect to obviously have a story like that. I find our area and our history so fascinating, talking about the glaciers. So how long ago were these mastodons around here?
Yeah, so here in Northwest Ohio, we were under the ice sheet for a lot of the Ice Age. The mastodons that we find are as the ice sheet is retreating back at the very end of the Ice Age. So probably between about 11 and 15,000 years ago. And then mastodons, woolly mammoths, giant ground sloths all died out at the end of the Ice Age 11,000 years ago.
Wow. So John, what does it mean for the community to be able to have something like this and to have the community to come out and see it?
We've had stones that people have found in their fields from the same time period, but never had an actual animal fossil to put with it to help tell the story.
So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
People are calling and wanting to know if they have to have a reservation. And I said, I would suggest you come early and put a blanket on your chair or whatever you want to do, but I'm not having reserved seating for this event.
Yeah. Like a parade, you know, you go out early in the morning and
Reserve
set your
your
chair
spot.
out and come back later.
It's going to be a great time.
Cool.
For sure.
So I would imagine just finding a molar or anything like this is exceedingly rare. Yes or no?
You'd be surprised.
Really?
Actually, mastodon fossils are known from every county in Ohio.
Wow.
There's 3 times as many mastodons as woolly mammoths. That's a bit of trivia for you here in Ohio.
Okay.
Ohio and the southern Great Lakes were prime mastodon habitat, spruce forest at the end of the Ice Age. So from New York State all through Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, up through Illinois and Wisconsin, mastodons are relatively common, especially single bones, single teeth. You might excavate and find them.
Should I just go home?
So
and
go
start
in the
digging?
backyard.
Should I just start digging? I feel like I want to do this now.
Seriously, you never know what you might find.
You never know what you might find.
And
So cool.
How deep are these usually?
It varies.
I'm really curious.
It
I really want to know.
It varies. So lake deposits around here might be a couple meters deep. There are sand ridges, which are ancient beach ridges, which could be up to 12 meters tall, which is about 30 feet thick pile of sand. Some of you might be familiar with like these random bits of sand you find in your backyard.
Oak openings.
Oak openings is a classic example of that, with these big sand dunes on top of swampy areas. That's all ancient lake and lake shore deposits. So it kind of depends on where you are, how far you have to go. But so you might have to dig down a couple of meters, about 10, 12 feet or so, and see what you find.
You're gonna need quite a shovel.
I don't care. I'll go.
for that.
Anybody know an excavator? Let's go do this.
We know what Ryan's doing this weekend.
I'm gonna have like a giant pit in my backyard. This is gonna be great.
This is very, very cool. Great opportunity for people to come and see this and learn about it. John, tell everybody time, location, all of that good stuff they need to know.
Next Friday, the 23rd at 7 p.m.
Now the program starts at 7 p.m. If you show up at 7 p.m.,
You probably won't have a seat.
so be there before 7 p.m. Okay.
What maybe well before. Very cool. Well, I'm glad we got a little mini introduction to it though this morning.
I'm gonna
And I
be there
want
at
to
like
thank
7
the University of Michigan for the photos you saw. That is the rest of our mastodon that's in their collection.
So cool. Very, very cool. Folks, thanks for being here today. You're going to have to
Absolutely.
give
Thank
that
you.
back.
Oh, I was hoping they
Sadly,
weren't going to notice.
I do need my fossil back.
We're gonna
It's
have
pretty
to
cool.
give it back. It is very cool.
You wouldn't have left without that, I know. But
Thanks
it was
for
worth a
being
shot.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, history, science, it's so geeky and fun. All right, coming up on Good Day, it might be cold, but there's plenty of, indoor fun to do around Toledo.
Yeah, Good Day. The Good Day Weekend Rundown is back in just a moment. Stay with us.
I'm going to start digging.